It's a great honor and a privilege to introduce Aharon Shevo. We're here in your beautiful home in Beit Gamliel.
Thank you.
And Aharon, you're a survivor of the Shoah.
Yes.
So if you could tell our listeners.
Okay, I will tell you first. My name is Aharon Shevo. Shevo, I made it Hebraized, made it Hebrew from Lehavret. I don't know how you say this in English. I made it Hebrew from Schwartz. My name was Schwartz. My family name was Schwartz before, and when I went to the army, to the Israeli Air Force, to the Israeli Defense Forces, not the Air Force, I changed to Hebrew. So I choose the name Shevo, which is one of the stones, precious stones from the Kohen Agadol, and since we are Kohanim, our family, so I choose the name Shevo, which is according to one of the Mefarshim, it's a black precious stone. Leshem Shevo v'achlama odem piteda bareket, one of the stones. Leshem Shevo. I have a granddaughter, her name is Leshem, so Leshem Shevo, her name now.
And Schwartz.
Schwartz was, well...
And it's black. Schwartz
yes,
is also...
yes, that's why I chose this Shevo. So I was born in August 30, 1943, and it was already, very bad time. I was born in Hungary, near Debrecen. It's a small town, even not town, it's a small village called Haidu Besurmein. And my father was already taken away when my mother was pregnant with me, and the Hungarians were very anti-Semitic. And they arrested him, all kind of reasons, I don't know. And they took him away when my mother was pregnant with me. And he even didn't see me. He didn't came home, didn't let him home to my brit or whatever what was. And then it was already the Hungarian Holocaust. The Germans came in, and it was very... The machine, the German murderers machine was very well already organized, so they took us right away after they put us in a ghetto. I was born in August 30, so it was in April when they took us. I was about 8 months when they took us to the ghetto in the village first for I don't know what short time, and immediately they transported us to Debrecen in a big a place where they made bricks factory, or a place like this, and we were there for it was close to the... Why was there? Because it was close to the train station straight to Poland, to Auschwitz, and there every day many trains went straight to Auschwitz, and one of the trains we were on it. Well, of course, all those stories I don't know myself, only from my stories of my mother. She carried me on the front, on her chest. I was 8-9 years old. My brother, Mickey Israel, he was 3 years already, and he was carried on the back. And my sister, she was 12-year-old, Babette. She was born in France before, and she was 12-year-old, and she was carried, with the luggage, all the belongings, what we had packed on and we were put on the train. My brother, Mickey Israel, remembers, even as a 3-year-old, he remembers that when he was in the train and we had to get off the train with the, yelling of the soldiers, with the Nazis. He couldn't stand on his feet because his legs were, from sitting on the train. He was very, curled up, very stiff, and he couldn't. He's numbed, his legs, numbed. So he couldn't stand. This is his memory from the Holocaust. He has a few others later also. And my mother told us that she don't know why, but the train got there and made a U-turn, because it was no, maybe the rails were bombed, by the Air Force, by the Allies, and she remembered that we couldn't reach to enter Auschwitz. So the train went down south back to Austria, near Vienna, in a camp, in a labor camp, where we were put there. It was already the end of the war. It was in 1944, in the end of 44. So we were put there for the rest of the year, and there we were liberated later. And I was there with her. She was working all the day. She was taken away to work in a washing, in a place where she was wash the clothes for the Germans. And she got sick from this, from rheumatism in the cold, weather and all this, with the cold water. She had rheumatism. And we were liberated in 1945, when I was almost 2 years old. And we went back. And all the time without my father. My father even didn't see me. So we went back to our village, Haidu Bessermain. My mother, of course, was trying to find out what happened to my father. We didn't know exactly what happened. We heard that he died from starving, or I don't know what. That's the whole story that we know.
And can I ask, any other members of your family?
The thing is that I had also two older brothers, which are half brothers not from my mother. My mother married my father. They made, I can show you, you can insert in the editing pictures about my father came with two sons. He got also widow. He lost his wife she had kind of sickness, and my mother lost her husband. She had one daughter, Babette, and when they got married in 1940, 1939. Then Mickey was my brother, who was born in 1940, and I was born in 1943. So it's a family of Sheli, Shelcha, Shelanu, all came together. And so two older brothers, they were already older, so they were in the war. They were 15 and 17 years old, so they were taken away in Germany, all kind of camps, labor camps. And then one was made Aliyah, through Kafrisin. He was already
through Cyprus.
18 years old, and he got immediately married. And he lived in Israel. He already died. And the other brother went to made Aliyah from Germany. They took him, all kind of youth organization, joint and all. They took him to the States, and he made a big, nice family there. He died already. But
they survived.
Yes, they survived.
Your two brothers survived.
And my mother, of course, my mother was a very, very strong personality. She was very strong. She raised up. Then after we came back to Hungary, we stayed there a few years. I don't know, in 1950-51, when I was in first grade, we made Aliyah to Israel with the Galila ship. And it was very interesting. And since I remember myself, I like to draw on everything, every paper that I found, all kind of book covers and all things. I like to every empty page, white page that I saw, I like to draw things. So it was in 1951 that we made Aliyah, and we lived about 5 years in tents in Ma'abara, which is a place where we stay for a while. Machane David near Haifa, near Shar Aliyah. We were also in Shar Aliyah in the beginning, and then we moved to Machane David, which was a camp with the tents and all kind of, I have a few memories. It's very interesting to tell you that I have a trauma from it. One is a big, very difficult, but it was really a good trauma. And the other, surprisingly, it was a bad trauma in the camp. When we were in tents, we lived in tents in Srifim and tents. They were blown up in 1952. It was very heavy. Even it was snow in 1951. It was a very heavy winter, very cold winter. And in the storm, the tents were blown away with the wind, and it was my mother sent me to a cousin who lived in a real house, not in a tent, in Haifa. So there I stayed as a young, first, second year, grade year old child. And it was a very frightening, because even still now, if there is a strong wind, I'm scared, that the house will blown away. Because the stands were really blown away. Our house, it was, shattered, and, it was moved. And I remember the army was recruited in, to help people, to hold the tents and all this, to help the people not to. And it was very difficult year of winter. And the other, it came back, from the beginning, that I tell this story also. I was in many camps, camps like I was also in the end. A few years ago, only four years ago, I was in a camp. It's okay with the recording?
Sure.
I still have a lot of room in the memory, because I will finish now with two memories of mine.
Aharon, this is unbelievable.
Yeah. Okay, I don't leave that I went all this through, but I remember, it's memories. I remember only since I was 5, 6, 7, not earlier. But this is a very interesting, that what I will tell you now, that in camps, I was in many camps. I like to tell people like this. The last time I told this in English, it was in a camp I used to go to camps as an art director, as a arts and crafts counselor. I was teaching arts and crafts in the States. I went to the States to camp, vacation camps like Nesher, Masad, Ramah, all kind of things of the Jewish organizations. It was 2 months summer camp. So last time I was in Camp Nesher, where I taught. It was in the Poconos, in the mountains in Pennsylvania, where I taught. I was teaching arts and crafts, for the kids. And I told them that I was in many camps. This was my last camp, and the camp before I was in camp in where it was. It was in New Jersey. It was a camp. It was a very religious camp, and before it was in Camp Masad and Camp Ramah. Each year, because I went first as a student. I was in the States to study arts and craft. After B'Tzalel, I graduated B'Tzalel, and after this, I went also to the States as to finish to specialize in animation, film animation. After B'Tzalel. And also in the summer I did this summer camp work with as arts and crafts, and I went to Masad, one of the greatest experience I had there. It was great. And before this camp I was in Camp Machane David. It's also a camp which with the stands that were there, I told you before, that blew away with the wind. And this is a very scary memories that I have from there. Very heavy trauma. But the biggest camp that the biggest trauma that I don't remember, only stories from my mother, it was the first camp that I was there almost. It was the Auschwitz camp. And also the camps, the labor camps that my mother was working there, and during the day I was taken care by people who, younger people who didn't go to work. My sister also, she was 12 or almost 13. And this camp, is a very interesting story. I have to tell you now. In the camp, all the time, we're also, especially when we were walking a lot. I mean, my mother, carried me on the front, my brother in the back, and my sister in the hand. We were walking like this. And my mother used to tell me that I was very happy jumping on her head when the raids, the air raids came with the sirens on. With the sound, and because then we had to stop, for working or for walking or I don't know what, and to take shelter. And when we take shelter, we stop for all the activities. She used to feed me, to try to bring me, her chest. I don't know what she had in her breast, but she gave me whatever she had there. She was also very skinny and all that. But she liked to to stop, and then so all the air, how do you say, the sirens, when they went on, it made me happy. And even still now, it's very interesting when the air, sirens go on from here, from the Qassams, from Gaza. We had here also in all over Israel almost. We had sirens going on. Everybody's scared and getting white and pale and all this. And I'm not happy, but it's make me feel something good. It's like something. It doesn't hurt me. It makes good. It's made me feel good even. The sirens when they go on. Not I'm going to hold the breath, but it's very interesting this feeling that I had this. And this is very interesting memories that has inside, very deep inside, that doesn't move away.
Aharon, can I ask, does your brother remember being in the camp? Because he was.
He remembers. Yeah, he remembers many things. He remembers one thing, that right after we were liberated, and he remembers even that it was a long line of people standing there. And he also ran away from us, and my mother was very, very scared. Where is he? Where is he? Looking for him, and we found him standing on the line to get injection, vaccine for kind of malaria or what was there, all kind of illness, all kind of things. And he, as a 4-year-old child, he understood that this is good, if everybody's standing there, even if it hurts, to get injection, but it must be something good. So he was there, standing there, and this he remembers, that he was standing in a long line to get injection. That's very interesting.
And your sister, did she ever speak to you?
Yeah, she is also, she was my sister, of course, my mother also. Yeah. My mother not, but my sister had an interview with the Yad Vashem's, project of interviewing people. She, my sister, because she remembers things. She was already 13, 14 when she was liberated. So she remembers things more than I, of course.
And did she tell you any stories?
Yes, about, what my mother, what also she told us, that we were walking a lot, by foot, and it was very, with all the peckless, all the, we had made all our belongings that we had, but later we also, I don't know, she or my mother told us, or my mother, I don't know, that a soldier, he, ran away from, maybe he was a Hungarian soldier, joined us, to push we had a carriage, to push with all our belongings. In the end, he took off his, uniform and all this. He tried to hide. I don't know. Maybe he was with the Germans. Maybe I don't know. But he tried to help. To help us, to join us, to be with us. And he pushed the carriage. That's my mother or my sister told me. I don't know. This is so all the stories from the Holocaust. It's not with me because I was only an infant. I was very young. I was 1 year old, 2 year old. Only.
And Aharon, did you ever go back to Hungary? Have you?
Yes, I went back. I had there an aunt. She asked me, "Why don't you come already?" My mother was there. Went back in before even just right after in 1990. Maybe 1980 something. No, it was 1980. My mother went back to visit, and we had also very good neighbors there. Also very, very pro. Some of the Hungarian people, the Gentiles, they were very, they said, "Wow, surprising! You came back. How you come back? We are, they were, shocked that we came back." And but some are very happy to see us coming back. One of them was very, when I came back there to visit in 2000, I came there after 50 years. Wow. Exactly, it was very exciting. I had pictures also. I visited the school that I didn't finish. I like to tell people that in my whole life I didn't finish any education almost, except Bezalel, the art school, the academy, that only I finished with a good rank, with good grades, okay. But I didn't finish first grade. I didn't finish the Cheder, anything I didn't finish because it was the war and all. In the first grade we made the aliyah. In the first grade when I was, so I went with a friend who took pictures. When I came to the school, I recognized the school that I was there in first grade that I didn't finish, and it was in June, and they were celebrating the making rehearsals for the end of the year. And I went to the first grade when they're making rehearsals, and I said, "Hey, take me also." I came with my passport, with my how do you say, the grades, you know, a book with all my grades from the first grade.
You kept it? Your mother
Yes,
kept it
yes,
for
of
you?
course, I can show it to you. And it was the grades in it, and I came to the teacher and I said, maybe you can ask, you can sign your name that I finished, because I didn't finish there.
Wow.
So maybe now I came with the year, or end of the year, you know, the graduation of the first grade. And it was very interesting. I took pictures. A friend of mine took pictures.
And she signed it?
No, it was just
But it was
fun.
nice.
Yeah. You know, all the kids were excited. You know, they gave me. I came even with a. I have a special hat, little small hat of the pioneers of the. It was then Stalin, you know, the Communist Party, and I came with that hat. You know, we went to the school with the uniform and all this, and then I showed them and they gave me in present. I showed them this, and they gave me a tie from their first school. Yeah, it was very interesting, very excited. After 30 years, after I visited there. After first years, after I finished, I didn't go there. After 30 years, I went there. Exactly, I fell on the year when they graduated the first grade year. It was very interesting, yeah.
And Aharon, I just want to ask you, being a child who was born in the Shoah, in the Holocaust, did your mother, did she speak about it a lot, about her time in...
Yes, she spoke, she didn't hide it.
It wasn't...
But it was in order. It was, you know, memories from here and there, how she worked, how she washed all the time, it was in the... how do you say, downstairs, not downstairs, but how to say, it was in the where we worked. It was like a shelter, but it was very cold, like a cellar. Yeah, there she had to wash all the day in the cold, and she had the rheumatism from it. She was also from it handicapped, but she was very strong personality. You know, when we came back to our home, to our place in Hungary, it was of course taken away. Already when when the Germans came in, and even before, already the Hungarians or the Germans they made us to divide our house and to bring some kind of a goy, I remember
a
non-Jew to become with us, to stay in the house, to live with us. They decided that we should apart our house, our home,
to separate,
to divide it and to let some other family to be there. And my mother had a fight with him, and he gave when my mother was pregnant, they had a fight and with this guy, and she was in 9th month already, and he took a, how you call this, a fork, like a fork, like a you took
spade,
a spade, yes, and he stabbed her, and she had a scar on her belly.
And she was pregnant with you?
Yes, maybe since then I have a scar in my head. Wow. Maybe that's why I'm so crazy.
Not at all. And Aharon, when you came back, you couldn't go back to your old house again.
It was taken away. But my mother was very strong. She fight, and she drove him out. This guy who gave with the fork, with the how do you say this?
It's like a spade.
Yeah, a spade. Yeah. And she fight with she drove him out.
And you stayed in the house?
Yeah, we stayed in the house. It was already they were. I don't remember really anti-Semitism when I was 6 years old, 5, 6. We went to Cheder, we went to first grade, and it was okay. But some. But
you're happy that your mother made the decision to come to
Yes, sure. I had a very good friend in the first grade. They were neighbors, and my wife and me, with a friend who filmed me there, he took pictures that I visited. We went our neighbor who was in my age, in my first grade, and we were very good friends. And they took out. I showed them pictures that I brought with them. I brought pictures, family pictures, showed them, and they took out their albums, picture albums. They took us and showed us our family in their album. We were in very good relations. Even after we came to Israel, we were still communicating, yes, with letters.
Wow.
It's very interesting.
And I just want to thank you. This is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Sure.
I hope it was.
It's wonderful.
Okay.
So I'm just going to 1 second.
So this is history.
It's real history.
Okay.
So Aharon, I just want to thank you so much.
Maybe we put that we remember that we are still in the age of the. We put this and we take off. We take off after. No. You know what? Here. This you.
So
you put this and you take it off. So it will be nicer, to remind that this is the time of the Corona.
This is the time of the Corona.
Yeah,
Aharon, I just want to thank you so much, really.
Yeah, okay.
Not only are you...
You are in it.
Not only are you Israel's foremost stamp designer, but that you were a survivor and you're so positive.
Yes, you don't know about
I really had that, and it's just been such an honor and a privilege to first of all to meet you and to hear your story.
Okay.
And to see how positive you are. It's incredible.
Sure, I'm still working, and why not?
It's unbelievable. But Aharon, thank you so much. I'm so extremely grateful.
Okay, thank you.
And then here this is
a lot of very happy memory. You can put this for me. Okay, I want to tell you about my mother. She was really a hero. She went all what she went through. This we made an album just 2-3 years ago for her 100 or what. She passed away in 1999. She was 95 years old. And this is the album we made for Anyuka. Anyuka means our mother in Hungarian. Anyuka. Rivka, Regina, Rozi, Schwarz, Leveit, Goldberger. Goldberger is her. This is. Okay, we'll show you here all the Hungarian roots. She was married here. This is my father, the young. This is Babette's father, her first husband, who died from tuberculosis, I think. Those days there was not many. There were many illnesses, and this is my father, who even didn't see me. And this is her mother,
wow.
My grandmother. Of course, I didn't see any of. I never had a grandfather or grandmother, even a father I didn't have. So this is my mother. And this.
And the Kforim?
This is she's from a great tzaddik from Liska. His Rabbi Tzvi Hirsch. He wrote books, and he was very, very famous in Hungary. Tzvi Hirsch Miliska, from Liska. This is very interesting. I will show you later. Pictures you can close up. This is my father, my mother, my sister Babette, and this is my two brothers, George and Bundy. And this is my father. This is 1939 when they got married. And here, this is the back of the book of this postcard. He had this is my father's handwriting. It's beautiful handwriting he had. This.
It's magnificent, sure.
I can show you this later. This is a nice, interesting picture. This is right after the war. I'm still not 3 years old. I'm 2 years old, and that's my mother. It looks even not so like a full, cute baby. This is my sister and my brother, Bundy, my oldest brother. He right after the war he made Aliyah, and this is Mickey Israel. He's 4 years old. I am 2 years old, and he's 5 maybe. No, I'm not. I'm about 2 years old. Yeah, I'm 2 years old. Yeah, it's family pictures. Every year we used to take a picture of the family. This is in our house. We had a big grocery store. This is in front of the grocery store we had. My mother managed it. That's my sister, and this is my brother and me on the bike. This is pictures from first grade and the cheder and all the.
And that cheder that was after the war.
Yes, sure. After the war.
And you had a rebbe.
Yes, we had a rebbe, and then I studied. I remember the last year. I remember I went to cheder afternoon, and in the morning I went to the school, to the first grade that I didn't finish. Okay, that's our house, our backyard. You see, that's my sister. That's me, my brother, and the cat, holding the cat.
This was still in Hungary.
Yes, this is Hungary. Yes, in Heidelberg. This is we had a house with a big backyard, with trees and all this. That my father used to many things that he did there. We had for sports, all kind of to do gymnastics. In the backyard. He had made all kind. He liked to do this. This is already when we came to yes, this is already in Israel in the first year. This is already Israel, Mickey, my mother, in her last years.
And there's the camps.
This is in the camp. Yeah, this is in the front of the camp. You see, this is the Galila. This is the ship that we came with to Israel.
And you still remember?
Yes, I remember because my brother, I don't know, maybe other people told me they like to work on to tease me and to make how do you say לעשות לי מתיחה, to make they told me that the ship, when we came from Venice to Haifa, okay, the ship left Venice port with the ship Galila, and from the Adriatic Sea, when we moved to the Mediterranean Sea, we will feel, they told me as a child, they will feel in the back, in the down from the ship, they will have like a car that or a bumper, that we will feel a big hit, from the ship, from the moving from the Adriatic Sea. When we move to the Mediterranean, we feel the bump, in the down in the like in a car. And they told me this, and I believed that. I was waiting to hear you didn't hear because you slept at the night, so you didn't hear. I remember the ship, it was many, it was crowded with many people, and it was many all the banks that we were in. It was like many beds from wood, no mattresses, from wood, many stories like this, and we were sleeping on them. This I remember. It was very crowded, and we were maybe a week on this ship. It took a long time. So I remember this, and I was waiting for this, how you say, meticha, to make not a mischief, like they tease me, like they told me stories as a child that you will hear this, you will feel the ship will.
You still remember? I
remember this.
Amazing.
Yeah. Okay. And when we arrived to Haifa airport, to harbor. We waited a while with the disinfection with the DDT. They put us, on DDT on us. Because they were, all kind of flies and all this.
And your first impression of seeing Haifa or coming to Israel?
No, we were very happy. I don't remember that we kissed the earth because it was the concrete, the harbor was not earth. But I remember it was very exciting. But we moved straight to the Shar Aliyah for a short time, and I remember we were standing on lines to get, we holding the dish, and they poured us lebenia. Lebenia, it's kind of milky, some kind of leben or what. And they gave us...
Like yogurt, a type of yogurt.
Yeah, yogurt. And they gave us black olives. And we didn't know what is this, because we came from Europe, from Hungary, and we thought it's the goat, what puts out from her back. We throw it away. We say, yeah, you eat this. It's how can you eat this? It's like the goat...
And Aharon, your family, was it a very Zionistic family?
No, not really. But we thought that we don't have what to do there. I don't know. I don't know. My mother, we were, I remember we had Bnei Akiva, we were singing. I remember the song, אגודיסטים בטלנים, בני עקיבא חלוצים, חבריה, חבריה, בני עקיבא עבודה, אגודיסטים בטלנים, בני עקיבא חלוצים. We were in Bnei Akiva. So we were Zionists, I don't know.
And is there still a community left in Hungary today in that town?
No, but almost maybe one guy who stayed there. No, most of the people left Hungary.
And they came to Israel, the majority?
Most of them. Yeah.
So this is such a wonderful tribute to your mother.
Here you see all the tents. Here. This is our. We like to draw our name, Schwarz, Rivka. On the tent. This is my sister, my brother Mickey, my mother, and me. Here also near the tent. Here on the. It was in Machane David, so on the beach. We were a lot on the beach going. This is my mother and me. I can show you all these pictures. You can, if you want to scan. And these are the tents that the wind were. Each time we are moved for higher, accommodation. First we were in a very small tent that it was on the ground. We were sleeping on the ground the first night, and then we moved to a big tent like this, which was divided for 4 families, widows, things like this, women with only children, only women, not men. Because my mother was there and my brother and me, 2 children, and a tent like this was divided to 4, and then we got one tent for 1 family. Each time we were advanced, we got better accommodation, and then we got a tzrif like this, which was on concrete ground, not the earth, and it still was blown away with the wind. But it was from brezent, from all kind of fabrics, and but it was better because it was just for us, There
was more privacy.
Yeah. Wow. So we got better.
This is such a beautiful tribute.
Yeah. It's all the family, all the children. So my mother saw many bli ayin hara. She saw many children and great children and great children. She had, my mother here. You see her. It's me. It's here.
And Aharon, I just have to ask you this.
Yes.
You mentioned that when the train was going to Auschwitz, because it was bombed, the railway.
Yeah, my mother really don't know what happened that made the train to make a U-turn, but she knows that it made it because they felt that in the crowded wagons, in the crowded train, in the crowded, how do you say that, where all the people were crowded inside, maybe 100 or 80 people there, and they felt
the cattle trucks. Yes. It actually were cattle trucks. It was used mainly for cattle
trucks. Yes, and with barber on the small windows were barber wires, and she felt that the train moving back, and they put us near Vienna.
Can I just ask you, isn't it sad, or have you ever thought, if only the Allies would have bombed the tracks earlier, they would have saved so many Jews, so many.
Yeah,
they would have bombed the camps.
It's very interesting. My brother, who went to the States, he had a very good friend that he was later, I don't know, when he was maybe older than him, that was in the American Air Force. And he said, he told him, why didn't you bomb me, earlier, me. My brother told him, why didn't you bomb me to get, Yeah, that's very interesting, yeah.
But there were people that they didn't know. They weren't given the information to bomb. They bombed very nearby Auschwitz, but they didn't bomb Auschwitz or the railways, which is
really. But the railways were, I think, it was bombed. My mother really don't know for sure. Maybe it was a Kastner was involved or what. I don't know. But we were back, and
wow. It's amazing.
Of course, my grandfather was perished in Auschwitz, and my many of the family died in Auschwitz. Yeah.
Aharon, have you ever been to Poland?
No, I didn't.
Would you ever go?
No, I don't feel like.
And your grandchildren or your children, did they go?
They some of them, my grandchildren went there. Yeah.
And you never objected to them going?
No, I don't feel like. I'm not interested to go to Poland.
But you were okay that they went to Poland?
Yeah, well, they were, of course. Yeah. Why not? They were very moved and very excited and I saw it. Yeah. Only one or two went only from the school. Yeah. This is a family tree that we made. It's a very interesting family tree. I can show it to you separately, and you can edit it. And it's my mother, of course, my father, and this is Babette's. You see, it's very interesting family tree. The design, how we designed it, because it doesn't have the usual what they make, like lines. Because this is the colors mean. This is my mother, green, light green, and all these are her sisters and brothers. You see, this is older sisters, and this is younger sister, and this is she. Some of them died when they were infant, so that's here. And this is my daughter, my sister Babette, and her husband, and this is green, dark green, because it's her father. You see, it's a dark green, and this is gray with my father, and here are all the descendants. My brother Mickey and his wife, and here all with the light gray, with the gray. All this, you see, it's gray.
It's amazing.
And this is my. I was also. That's me, and this is my wife. She died. This is another story that I will tell you now. That's I will go into it. We need to open a new chapter. This is my wife Malka Zichrona Livracha. She died from melanoma when she was 29, and I was 39. I was older than she was, also 10 years older. And this is my wife Dvori, who lives here with me, and she's also much younger than I am, and I am here. And these are our children. It has been, of course, changed. This is 2 years ago made, so it's already Michal and Dubi. Michal is my daughter, and they have already a son who is married, and he has made me to have a great grandchild.
Mazel tov, it's wonderful.
Yeah. They have. Her name is Maayan, and this is my side, and this is my brother. He's much more productive than I am, but we both have 5 children. But I am younger than him, so I'm behind him, of course. Yeah,
did you design the family tree?
Yes. But my brother was very much involved, in giving me the, his ideas and all this. Oh, this is very interesting. This is very interesting to show you. My brother was very talented in painting and in music. He was very talented, and this is one painting that he left behind him, a very realistic, very dark, very very bad, mood, very,
somber. It's very somber.
Yes. Wow. And that's him. And his signature here. Wow, in 1926, it was. Wow. very old. And he was very talented in also in painting, drawing, and also in music. So my brother Mickey Israel inherited the talent of the music more. Also he's talented also drawing and all this, editing and filming and all this, but he is mostly in sound, you know, in singing and music and all this. And I'm more talented. I inherited the art, the drawing and all this.
And Aharon, where is the painting today? Do you have
He has, my brother has it. This is the only painting that we had from him. And a few pictures of his face, that's it. This is very interesting. This picture, it's in the back. You see, this is the front. You see me on the video? It's good?
It's beautiful.
This is the front of the album. It's our mother Anyuka. And this in the back, she, in her last days, looking at this book,
this is
and this inside, this is the front, you see, and this is she's looking inside, and here in the book she's looking inside and inside and so on.
It's amazing.
It's an endless, like two mirrors you put together, and you see reflections. And and in the background, it's very interesting. This I have to show you. This picture in the background. Where did I found it? Where is this picture? It's a beautiful picture.
Magnificent.
Wow, where is this picture? I don't know where if I find it here, but we have a very interesting picture of her. Just, well, I don't have it here, but maybe hold it.